Glad you're with us. Now I got my audio turned on. It's always helpful when I turn my audio on. You know, someone in the chat room has mentioned that it might be kind of interesting to see what goes on pre-show, behind the scenes. Yeah, probably not. I really doubt it would be interesting. I mean, it might, but, I doubt it. It's just a bunch of people sitting around hitting microphones and banging their heads against walls and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's kind of the way it goes. Welcome to Music Scene Investigation, everyone. Rich Wildman here. I didn't turn my light on for a reason, because I look better in a natural light, and it's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to you, my mom, and to every mother out there, including our panelists' mothers as well. Tom Chianti's in New York City. Let's meet him first. Mr. Tom Chianti, how are you today, sir?
Hey there, hi there, ho day. It's a wonderful day in New York.
It looks like it's bright and sunny where you're at, from everything I can see.
It is. It's been in the high 70s the past couple of days. Last night and yesterday was a little rainy, a little humid. Today started off a little cloudy, turned out to be a beautiful day. And so all the mothers should be very happy. They have a very nice day. And thank you for wishing. You know, my mom's passed, but that doesn't mean she doesn't deserve some credit.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Highly intelligent gentleman like you. Got to give credit to somebody for that.
Well, she was a wonderful mom. I should have been a better son.
I'm just saying, you didn't build it on your own, Tom.
No. But, yeah, it's good that we talk about these things and show that we have a personable side.
Absolutely. Absolutely true. Well, thanks for being here, Tom, on Mother's Day, above all days else. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Rich.
Over in London, England, we're going to say hello to Mr. Ian Husbands. Hey, Ian, hope you're feeling all right today.
Not particularly rich. I've been throwing my guts up. So if I disappear during the show, I'm just emptying my stomach. Don't panic.
Well, if you wave your hands in the air, I'll mute the microphone so nobody can hear you.
That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? You wouldn't want to hear.
Yeah, wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't hurt. Sickness is going around. Spring, that winter-spring transition is always difficult. So,
indeed, I'm finding it that way. I've had the kids full of it, the missus full of it, and now I'm full of it.
Well, better to be full of it than the other options. I don't know. So I think that you have a statistic or two from us from our witness statements last week.
I do, and I'm glad to report that our audience agreed with us again. No. So, Tom, we got what? So, song 2, which was "Learn to Love" by Chris Ryan, was also voted highest in the witness statement.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to see everybody continuing to agree with our panel. I'm just reading over the chat room. One of the suggestions, Ian, is no more whiskey.
It said no. It says more whiskey.
I kind of inserted that no in there myself, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not even on the whiskey tonight, Richie. It's a pint of water.
Well, maybe
that's how rough I'm feeling.
Maybe you need to take up the advice from our chat room and, whiskey and water kind of thing.
We'll see how we go with that.
All right. Well, we'll find out as the show progresses, everyone. And remember, waving the arms is mute my microphone. Okay. All right. Our guest panelist today is great to have him on the show with us. First time on the broadcast with us today, Mr. James Anderson. He works as a sound engineer and audio producer with BigFish Media, which is a voiceover agency in the UK. And we're glad to have him with us. James, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to MSI.
Hi there, Rich. It's a pleasure to be on the air with you guys, and thank you for the Mother's Day wish. I don't know if that's the same Mother's Day as it is here in the UK, because we usually have slightly different holidays and such, but thanks for inviting me on here.
Well, we're glad to have you, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's Mother's Day holidays are different between the U.S. and the U.K., so you guys get to have your mom's wished Happy Mother's Day by us twice.
Exactly. That's a pleasure. Thank you, Rich.
Happy to do it. Now, tell me a little bit about you. I just mentioned you work with BigFish Media, a voiceover agency. what is it that you do for BigFish? I see a sound engineer and audio producer, but for somebody in our audience who may not know the ins and outs of what a voiceover agency is and what they do, can you explain a little bit to us about it?
Yeah, of course, Rich. At BigFish Media, we produce a lot of voiceover and audio for corporate gigs, for e-learning, for DVD modules, and also a lot of computer games. We do on-hold messages for phones and such, and also international voices as well. We don't just cater for English-speaking audiences, we cater for the international side of things as well.
Now, your position within BigFish Media as a sound engineer and audio producer, what is it specifically? I mean, I think everybody kind of might have an idea of what a sound engineer does. What's an audio producer do in the case of a voiceover agency?
So effectively, the production side of things, taking direction when the voice artists need it, and if a client needs particular help in getting the right kind of delivery, pace, or tone of a particular voiceover, and also the production could involve adding music to voiceover, for instance, for on-hold messages or anything like that.
So it's a lot more than just offering the voiceover artist the instruction, we want to hear it this way or that way or things like that. There's a lot more to it, sounds like.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. You go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you, the idea of being an audio producer with voiceover agency, you probably have an opportunity to meet 1,000 different voices, and some maybe better than others. What has your experience been with regards to the voices that you've come across over the years?
In many instances, we don't actually get to meet some of the voices on our books because some of them are recorded remotely at other studios or other parts of the world, especially with the international voices. But yeah, I've worked with all kinds of levels of proficiency, and it's a real eye-opener, and it's in many ways more interesting than working with bands, because people that work with their voices tend to be more reliable.
Now, with regards, I'm glad you brought up the idea of bands, because you do have a background with doing recording engineering and sound design for bands as well. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's right. I started off engineering bands when I was at college studying music production, which I studied for quite a long time, in excess of 5 years. And at one stage I wanted to do a postgraduate study in audio engineering, but couldn't find the funds. But while I was studying music production, I did a lot of band recording and recorded a lot of demos, and I found that actually a lot of these guys were so unreliable that I thought there's got to be another way to this, and that's what kind of got me into voiceover stuff, really, because I wanted to become an audiobook producer, but discovered there was little money in that, and eventually found BigFish Media. That's where I am at the moment.
Well, that's very cool. Now, you're also big into collecting records. I mean, when a lot of people today think of records, in fact, a lot of the kids today don't even know what they are. So what got you interested in tell us a little bit about your collection?
Well, there's probably a lot of people my age that still don't know what a record is, because I'm only 27, and I remember records from my early childhood, and then obviously CDs came along and the cassettes got phased out, and now we're in a world of digital downloads, etc. But I got into record collecting at quite an early age, and soon discovered that I could make money out of buying and selling records as well. I've got quite an extensive record collection. As you'll probably see on the website, I collect a lot of 60s and 70s psychedelic rock. I've got an extensive collection of gramophone records, and over the past few years I've been buying a lot of surround sound records. In other words, records that reproduce quadraphonic sound, which was pioneered in the 70s, and didn't take off too well because it's such an expensive hobby to pursue, but now in the days of eBay, you can track down all these decoders and actually appreciate all this amazingly produced stuff from back in the day.
Yeah,
now I think a lot of these production techniques have been lost over the years, especially from analog studios, and I'm sure that you'll probably agree to some extent.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that to a very large extent. I know that of course, like you said, back in the 70s, you had Quadrophenia, you had a number of different albums which were quadraphonic. I mean, it was not something that was as widespread as what you see today because of surround sound capabilities. A lot more studios are able to do it and whatnot. So you see a lot more of it. In fact, you can go down and pick up CDs that are surround sound CDs today.
Yeah, that's right. Many formats that encompass that, like the DVD audio and the Super Audio CD, they're absolutely fantastic. But obviously, there isn't a large enough audience base that appreciates surround sound for it to be in the public domain so much. It's really only the movie theatre that helped bring surround sound into the modern day.
That's very true, and I'd like to see, obviously, from a personal perspective, I'd like to see more surround sound audio. The unfortunate thing about it is, from a digital download perspective, is the files are very large, and I don't think there are too many players out there for that kind of thing to be able to let you play back a digital surround sound file.
That's true.
Yeah, music-wise, right?
I think that producers of the present and people that are producing contemporary music should go back to mixing in mono or just ditch the computer and learn some old-fashioned techniques and just try and improve their production quality as much as possible. When I was at college, I tried to engineer as much with tape as humanly possible just so that I could learn about these techniques without having an instant remedy or an instant fix at the click of a button.
Yeah, and I think that's a forgotten practice that Tom can relate a little bit to, right, Tom?
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you brought that up, James, and I appreciate that you have an appreciation. One thing I know is, great art is never lost. It's constantly rediscovered, and recording is in that, great art category. So, it may go away for a while, but it'll come back. I mean, there's still, a lot of old sailors like myself who learned all through analog and lived through the digital revolution that have choices. But go ahead. Sorry to butt in.
Yeah, the only thing detrimental, really, to analog engineering or tape editing is the fact that your forefinger will end up with tons of scars from the razor blade edits. But apart from that, everything else is good.
Yeah. And now I know you are friends with another panelist on our broadcast, Mr. John Schroeder, and I believe that's how you met up with Ian Husbands, correct?
Yeah, that's true. In fact, I bumped into John Schroeder today because he was down in the Brighton area, and he happened to mention MSI because he was wondering when he was next on the show. So I'm looking forward to his next appearance.
Well, we definitely are too, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. Maybe we can get both of you guys on at the same time at some point. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah, John and I are good buddies, and even though we haven't known each other for a long time, we seem to have covered a lot of ground. And yeah, John's a great guy, and I'm really pleased that I met Ian through John at one of his soirees, which was a really entertaining evening. And there's probably plenty of material here that shouldn't go on broadcast, but take it from me, it was a funny evening.
So Ian does the soiree route, eh?
I like to take a soiree every now and again, Tom,
Yeah, well...
Is that a euphemism?
I don't know, it's whatever.
I'll tell you, before it goes too much further afield, let's get to what it is we came here for. Now, before we do that, I do want to let everyone know that we are experiencing, in some cases, some Skype difficulties today. So if one person or other might drop offline, bear with us. I'll strive to get everybody back online and back in course of the show. So let's take a listen, gentlemen, to today's first song on Music Scene Investigation, if you would. Everyone, this is song number 1 on today's MSI. I certainly hope you enjoy it. Here it is. There's song number 1 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Let's find out what Ian thinks about track 1. Ian, your thoughts?
Yeah, been a bit of a nightmare during that song. But I like the song. I do like the song. Love the vocal. Love the groove of the track. Haven't had a chance to sit and make any notes this time round because I was sorting out Skype issues while listening. But it's got a good feel to it. I think the mix is very strong. Maybe a little bit too much bass in there. It seemed a bit wompy on the bottom end. But overall, I mean, good hook. The Nobody Dies lyric. It's got that sort of. Do you remember a band called Love Hate?
True.
Sort of,
Yeah.
It's sort of got that sort of vibe about it to me, and a bit of sort of Velvet Revolver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't got much bad to say about this, to be honest. There's good use of backing vocals. Lyrically, it's quite strong. I liked it.
All right, Ian, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Over to Mr. Tom Chianti. Tom, what do you think of track number 1?
Well, I agree with Ian on one point. I like it. I think, as he said, performances are strong. The production is in place. My problem's not with the song or performances or production. They're all there. It's the mix. As it stands, it's a nice little mix. It's great for a demo. For a final product, if that's what they're looking for, guitars are not separated. They're overbearing at times. The drums, I like the sound, but they still stood behind the guitars. The guitars, were muffly and big. Maybe clearing them out again will bring everything into the same sphere. Also, as far as production goes, they had a sort of nice swing feel going for it. Maybe raise the BPMs a bit, because I know if they perform this live, they'll definitely be hyped and it'll be a faster tempo, and that's something I'd like to capture. Again, to the mix, the bass, as Ian said, is a little rumbly. Black separation and clarity, vocal distinction. It's great demo mix, but if they want to make it compete, they've got to invest the time and possibly money into having it mixed proper. And these guys have got the talent. They should go for it.
All right, I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you very much. Over to our guest panelist, Mr. James Anderson from BigFish Media. James, your take on track number 1.
Yeah, I thought it was great. As for the mix issues, I'd have to agree with Tom there, because in places it did get a little bit swamped and a little bit muddy, but I thought the track was really good. As for the guitars at the beginning, the stereo imagery worked well, but it just wasn't consistent throughout the whole track, I felt, and in places the dynamic range was a little bit squashed on the drums, but no, it had a good driving arrangement there, and it would have been good if the tempo was increased a little. I must admit that's something that I happened to notice during the track, and it just needed a slight polish, that's all.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, James. Thank you so much. Let me take the opportunity to introduce that track to everyone. That track is called, obviously, Nobody Dies. It's by a group called Harmonic Generator. We appreciate they're sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. I want to take the time before we move on to offer a big congratulations to the Getaway Car. The Getaway Car was the winner of the hit list for the month of May, which took place last Wednesday on MSI Radio. We do that broadcast every second Wednesday of the month, where we'll take all the previous selections from our Song of the Week selectees, actually, and we'll put them into a contest against each other to determine an MSI Live to Play Network's hit list winner. So big congratulations to the Getaway Car and their track Some. We appreciate their participation. All right, gentlemen, we've got 2 more songs. Hopefully Skype stays up and operational. Who knows what's going to happen? So let's go ahead and get to song number 2, if we can, on today's Music Scene Investigation. This is track number 2.
Hello.
That is track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Let's go straight to Mr. Tom Chianti, find out what his thoughts are. Tom,
Thank you, Rich.
What do you think?
It's a very interesting track. Nice performances, good vocal performance, interesting production. You know, they took some chances, and I think they all would have worked. And my problem, again, you know, as usual, is with the mix. They seem to have overproduced the mix a little bit, maybe. And using the filtered vocals, they weren't really pronounced enough. As someone said in chat, they didn't have any presence. The build-up was kind of slow. And the use of this over-compressed overall drone is a good idea, but it's got to be better executed. It basically just filled the track with that over-compressed feel, which is why I kept going back and forth between good mix and bad mix. The mix is not consistent. The ideas are really unique, and I like them. And this type of song, you know, is relying on a really good mix artist coming in and taking it to the next level and fulfilling the producers and the artist's dream. And that's where a mix in communications happened, I felt. You know, other than that, I liked it.
All right, Tom. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And Mr. James Anderson, you're up next, sir. What are your thoughts on track number 2?
Well, from a musical perspective, I really like the way that the track evolved. It's not the kind of thing I'd listen to personally, but I can imagine it would have been a bit of a pain to mix, especially with all the effects in there that seem to have been sadly lost, because I think that it would be really quite interesting if it were to be mixed to a pro level, just like Tom was saying, really. Very good on headphones. I think a lot of things would be lost if you listen to it through a decent system. Some of the production actually suits the genre. I think some of it may actually be intentional, but you never know. A little bit of distortion in places, but sorry, I've got so many notes so that I'm getting lost in a sea of handwriting. But yeah, the vocals certainly improved and became a lot clearer about halfway through the track, and yeah, the filtered vocals didn't really come through too well. Apart from that, I think fairly good, suits the genre well, and yeah, that was an interesting one.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, James. Thank you very much. Over to Ian Husbands. Ian, your take on track number 2.
Yeah, I'm going to echo a lot of what the guys have said. I mean, that filtered vocal was set back too much to start with. I mean, the intro had very much a Pink Floyd feel to it, I felt, which was cool. And then it all went sort of a bit Nine Inch Nails, Perfect Circle, Tool, that sort of thing. And although the guy's got a great voice, I didn't think his voice was spiteful enough for that sort of music, if that makes sense. So, you know, more aggression, more angst in that vocal for this style. I like the minimalist approach. I like the sonic palette that was used. There's some good production ideas going on there. But it did get a whole bit repetitive until around the 3-minute mark when then rock guitars kicked in. I personally would like to have them rock guitars kick in a bit sooner, give the track a more dynamic, maybe bring them out in the sort of chorus, drop them back down, for sort of verse type thing, because that's where it really suffered. The first 3 minutes were very samey. That vocal needed to break out of that filtering in the second verse, not prolong it on for another verse before breaking it out. Again, this is all my opinion. And I didn't think the rock guitars that were there were heavy enough for this sort of genre. They needed to be more distorted, more overdriven, more, again, angry. They're all very sort of rock rather than that sort of new age metal sound that sort of people get on this sort of track. I can see with the direction it's going. There's a really good idea here. I just don't think it's been angsty enough.
Angsty enough.
Enough.
You're using that as a verb.
Yep, we need more angst.
All right.
And I don't think that you can project any angst with a click track coming in at the beginning. I think they should lose that, but that's just personal preference.
No, and it's funny that Ian, the Bucket Man Husbands, brings up angst at this particular show.
What can I say?
Angst or no, we appreciate their sending that track in. I'll introduce that track to everybody. The name of that track is I Don't Want Your Love. It's by the group Sanger. So we appreciate Sanger sending that in to Music Scene Investigation. If you want to get your song in front of our panel, a very easy thing to do. All you have to do is go to musicsceneinvestigation.com. Click on the Submit a Song button at the top of the page, and all the information is there. It's a very easy thing to do, and we certainly hope you take advantage of it, and maybe you'll hear your song in front of our panel very soon. All right, gentlemen,
just want to say to Pinky, saying he thinks Sanger has been on before. He has been on before. Hi, Steve. How you doing?
Oh, there you go. It happens. It happens. A lot of people submit multiple tracks for the panel, and we're happy to have them placed in front of the panel each and every time they come up. So let's go to song number 3 now, guys. We got to listen to it, right? So here it is.
It would help, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would help, I know. So song number 3, everyone. Certainly hope you enjoy it right here on Music Scene Investigation.
You know you're always on my mind. Can I take you for a ride? You know you're always on my mind. It's on my mind every night, making hits all the time. When I work, it's overtime. Body like that can't pass me by. Got metaphors stacked to the sky. Time for a hit, let them pass me by. Big body bands on overdrive. I try hard not to think about it. I think about it, even on my job. You got a crazy whip and a supermodel chick. You're always dressed to kill. You got them dollar bills. I think about it every day. Feel the pressure and the pain. Things will never be the same. Ever since she ran away, even feel it when it rains. Close my eyes and see your face. Hope the situation changes, but it still remains the same. I miss you, I really miss you. I miss you, you know I miss you. Summer swag, beach party, found us at a pool party. Shots got a feeling I didn't want it bad. Doing a lobby, SEX. My hobby, player haters, just can't stop me. Jeans I'm wearing is the money. That's why I gotta get this money, and you can't take nothing from me. Rep my city if they love me. You got a crazy whip and a supermodel chick. You're always dressed to kill. You got them dollar bills. I think about it every day. Feel the pressure and the pain. Things will never be the same. Ever since she went away, even feel it when it rains. Close my eyes, I see your face. Hope the situation changes, but it still remains. Friday night, club night. What I'm wearing all white. We the flyest inside. By the bar, what's the price? Can't spend money when you did alright. Got one life, better live it right. Green diamond like kryptonite. I think about it every day. Feel the pressure and the pain. Things will never be the same. Ever since she went away, even feel it when it rains. Close my eyes, I see your face. Hope the situation changes, but it still remains the same. I think about it every day. Feel the pressure and the pain. Things will never be the same. Ever since she went away, even feel it when it rains. Close my eyes, I see your face. Hope the situation changes, but it still remains the same. I miss you, I really miss you. I miss you, you know I miss you.
And that's track number 2 on today's music, or
Three.
track number 3. I'm sorry,
3.
Tom. Thanks, Ian. I appreciate both of you correcting me.
No, we just don't want to do another song.
No, it's Mother's Day. Give me a break. Give me a break. It is Mother's Day.
You're not a mother.
No, I'm not.
What's the excuse for?
I'm just making them up as I go, as always. You know, something to do. All right, let's start out with James Anderson on this one from BigFish Media. James, what's your take on track number 3?
Well, personally, as you probably guessed, this genre isn't my cup of tea. So I'm just going to have to hark back to the days of music appreciation when I was studying music and try and get the best out of it. And I'd say that for the genre, yeah, it works. Simple lyrical matter and all very, very basic stuff. Again, slight mix issues. I don't think that the top end cut through enough, really. Stuff like that needs to be really polished to stand out amongst the crowd. And yeah, it's just a simple case of mix issues again. My favourite part of it was the last 30 seconds when it kind of became a bit more chilled out and less in your face, but that's all just personal preferences, really. There's not a great deal more I have to say about it, but it's a nice effort for that genre. It's just not my thing.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, James. Let's go to Mr. Ian Husbands. Ian, your thoughts on track number 3?
Yeah, my biggest thing with this, I think they need to get a better MIDI set because the string sounds and the other bits and pieces sounded very out of the box and not very expensive out of the box either. And it was all sitting in the mid-range. There, as James said, there was no highs, there was no lows. I think mastering could cure a lot of that. The mix wasn't very hard. It needs toughening up, some compression, some EQ, top and bottom end to sort of really bring those highs and lows out. Otherwise, really like the rapping, like the guy's voice, like the use of voices, the way it was layered. And I like the arrangement a lot as well. That verse, the way the chorus picked up after the verse, and there was that sort of small bridge before we're back into the verse again. Really, really nice arrangement. Did like that. But yeah, really, it is the mix that lets this down. I mean, lyrically, there was some good stuff going on there. As I said, the layering on the vocals was very tight, which is something we don't hear too much of on MSI, and that needs to be. But as James says, you know, if this is to stand out from the crowd amongst a lot of other good rap out there, especially some of the indie stuff we're hearing coming through MSI, the mix lets it down. It really needs to sparkle and shine.
All right, Ian, I thank you very much, and we'll go over to Mr. Tom Chianti. Tom, what's your take on 3?
Hello, Rich. Hello, fellas. Well, I have to agree with Ian and James. I think, though, and I may be wrong, I think what they were trying to do was juxtapose, MIDI instruments versus live sounding either samples or live played. I don't know if the bass was played live, but it sounded it. And I don't know if they actually took the time to record live drums, but they got samples that emulated those very good. And that's my main problem. If that was what they were trying to do, juxtapose the two, their treatment of the live instruments is sadly not as good as it could be. Ian covered the production and the lyrical content, and I agree with him on all of that. It's well written and well performed, and love the backgrounds and the breaks and everything, and the last 30 seconds, as James said. But I think what the mix suffers from most is not really understanding what the instruments are capable of producing and controlling them correctly. It was a little woofy on the bottom. That's because the live kick sound that they used was not treated right. The bass, the live bass sound could have been a little bit more compressed. Overall, as Ian had said, the mix could have been overall a little tighter with a little bit more compression here and there. Not a lot, because you don't want to over-compress it. You want to keep it live if that's what you're going for. The vocal sound was okay. And again, I think they've got some really cool ideas going for them. And if they were going down that road of showing the difference between MIDI and live, I think it's a great way to express it and a great rap song do it on. But it's definitely got mixed problems.
All right, Tom, I appreciate that. Thank you so very much, all three of you. Now, let me take and introduce that track to everyone. The name of that track is called Memories. It's by Steamy. We appreciate their sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Now, want to remind everybody to head over to the witness page, file your witness statement, let us know what you thought about what you heard on today's broadcast, and we'll broadcast those results next week on Music Scene Investigation. Gentlemen, I'm going to turn it over to you as I do every week so you can make a Song of the Week selection. If you would, discuss it amongst yourselves, fight, but no hair pulling whatsoever will be allowed.
Well, I'm out of that category. So are you, Rich?
Well, no fighting from me this week. I'm going to go straight for number one. I think it's the song that's most memorable in my mind. I think it's the song that needs least to get where it needs to be out of all three. And probably the one I enjoyed more as well.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. And number one for me as well. It was it became very clear from hearing song 2 and song 3. Song 2 and song 3 were really good, but I think that number one needs the least done to it to actually put it up there above the rest of the categories.
And who am I to argue? I agree with Ian. Number one is obviously the one he loves the best. So I'm not going to argue about himself. I agree. Number one, it needs the least, and it'll be the quickest out to market.
All right. Well, that was very easy, as they say over at Staples. So number one it is. That's Harmonic Generator with their track Nobody Dies. And that is our Song of the Week for this week. I want to thank James. Big, huge thank you for first time on. It's an easy process, isn't it? Not too painful.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for inviting me on the show. It's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure.
It was great to have you on with us. Hope to have you again sometime if we can.
Hopefully I'll be able to come on one day with John Schroeder or anybody else who's prepared to sit in a room with me.
I think that'd be great. If we could get you both on, that would be a big plus. And
just provided I don't have to go up to Ian's and sit on somebody's bed with John Schroeder, then that's all fine by me.
Well, I don't think...
Depends how much you pay me.
Yeah, I was going to say there are no promises being made there. I don't think so. But
can I just plug something before?
Sure, please
I
do.
sign off?
Please do.
It's all things to do with record collecting. Just to go back onto that note briefly. Very close friend of mine. He may even be a panelist one day. He was also at John Schroeder's soiree, as we like to call it. John Silk. He's recently written a book on record collecting, and it's available for download on Kindle. It's called Record Collecting in the Digital Age. And there's many anecdotes with other dealers, record sleeve artists, and plenty of interviews. So I recommend that you will get online and download a copy today.
That sounds like a great idea. If you're interested in records or just selling records, finding out more about them as you collect them, it sounds like a perfect place to go. Again, James, thank you so much for being with us, and look forward to having you back on real soon.
No, that'd be cool.
And also
Cheers, James.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. It's been a pleasure.
Great job.
I think so as well. I want to also take the opportunity to thank everybody out in the audience for being with us today in the chat room. And there is some controversy in the chat room. Make sure you go and file your witness statement, musicsceneinvestigation.com/witness. Let us know what you thought. You can also go to the Contact Us page to send all that mail in and really tell us in depth what you think about the selections today. All right, Ian, Tom, thanks to both of you. We're going to be here again next week. And Ian, who is our guest panelist next week?
It's Britain's best blues drummer 5 times on the trot, Mr. Sam Kelly.
Well, I'm looking
we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be a good time. Hope you join us again next time, everybody. We're going to play out today with Harmonic Generators, Nobody Dies, right here on Music Scene Investigation. Thanks for being here. Hope to see you again next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Sergeant! nobody. No, nobody.